Hello students, I am Dr. Gajendra Purohit and you are watching our YouTube channel where I upload videos on engineering mathematics, B.Sc. I have started a series on discrete mathematics where I have uploaded a lot of videos. You will get the link in the description or on the I tab. So today I am going to tell you guys about functions, what a function is, what are 1, and onto functions and how to find the domain, the range, and how to find codomain of a function. And after that, there is another topic where students are asked many questions. That's what is a composite function and how do we find the inverse. So students, there are a lot of questions on this. I will discuss this in the next video. So stay tuned with me. So students, what is function? X and Y are the two sets. And a rule is which every element of X is assigned to a unique element of Y. Then this rule is called a function and it is written by this Fx to Y. Okay students? So I want to tell you that every element of this is assigned with every element of this one. Let me give you an example using which will try to make you understand. Let's say we have a school and let's suppose in that school there are some students of class 6. I am asking you to imagine that there are students of class 6 of a school. And let's say these are the 10 kids, 1, 2, 3, and these are their roll numbers. So we have 10 students of class 6, okay? And weight of every child is also given. Let's say a child weighs around 25 kilos, another child weighs around 30 kilo. And these are the weights of the students. Here first weight is given as 25 kilo, next weight is 39 kilo, and next is 35 kilo, okay? Is this clear to all of you? And now let's assume that the first student weighs 25 kilos, the second one 30 kilos, the third one 30 kilos, and the fourth one 28 kilos. Weight of every student should always be there, okay? And by chance, if only this is given, it is saying that it's a function, but in this case, this is not a function. For it being a function, every student should have a weight. So, it is very important to remember that whenever we talk about a function, here every element in the domain should be connected to every element of this. Is this clear? So students, here, let's say we take 8, 9 and 10, right? So every student should have some weight. For example, this will come here or its weight is coming like this or its weight is coming like this, right? If this happens, then it will be a function. But I want to tell you one thing, a very good thing, right? That which is the condition where there will be no function. Now let's say there is a student and his roll number is 1. His given weight is 25 kilos. And by chance, if it says that his weight is also 28 kilos, so it is not possible that one student has two different weights at the same time. So like this only, image of every element should always be unique, right? It cannot be two, okay? One student cannot have two weights. You have to keep this in mind. And if you connect the students and their weights, then you can easily understand the definition of a function, okay? That every student's weight should exist and you cannot have two weights for the same student. So this is the definition of a function. Clear? Now let's move ahead. So now students, let me clear it to you once again. If two sets A and B are there, so each of them will have different image, right? It cannot have two images, just like one student cannot have two weights. So students, you can see this is for this one. Let's say there are 3 students and 3 weights. Now you will say that sir, Y and P are empty. It's possible. This is function. It's clear. Element of this place can be empty. Element of this place can also be blank. By chance it's 4 here and it is not connected. Then in that case, this is not a function. Because if there is a student here, then his weight should also be here, right? So this needs to be taken care of. Anyway, this function is still there. Is this clear? So students, let's talk about the domain and range of a function. If a function goes from A to B, then A is called the domain and B is called the codomain. So it simply means that whatever element is given to us. Let's say that we have a function f is equal to x square or function y is equal to x square is given to us. Okay, students? And now you can see that here elements 1, 2 and 3 are given to us. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right? And students, I am saying to you that square of 1 is 1, the square of 2 is 4, the square of 3 is 9. Am I right or wrong? And now, if it asks you that what will be its domain, codomain and range. So students, this element which is here, it will be our domain, okay? If it asks you what is the domain of this function, the domain will be 1, 2 and 3. And another important term is range. So what is range? All the elements which are connected here, yes, the elements which are connected here will be the range, right? So here the first range will be 1, other will be 4, and next range will be 9. Now, my dear students, it may also ask you that what is the codomain, right? So what will be codomain? Codomain is made up of all these elements. Here it's set A and here is set B. So students, all the elements that are in the set B will be our codomain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right? So my dear students, this is our definition. This element is known as the domain. The elements that are connected will be the range and all other sub-elements will be the codomain, right? So this is the definition. And students, the range set is always a subset of B. It's very important to remember that here, this range set, this R will be subset of B. Is it right or not? So this is what I've explained to you here. Like we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the elements. So guys, we know that here the domain will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. The range will be X, Y and P and the codomain will be X, Y, Z, P and Q. Is this clear to all of you? This is what we need to pay attention to. So next we will talk about kinds of function. First we will talk about 1 function. We can know by the name that 1 functions mean that every element should have a fixed image, right? It simply means that it should be connected 1 to 1, right? So this is 1 function. So let's see the definition. If fa to be a function and it is called 1 if x is not equal to y, implies fx is not equal to fy for xy belongs to a. And if by chance fx is equal to fy, then 100% x will be equal to what? It will be equal to y. So this is what you need to understand. Let me give you an example. Let's suppose we have a set of, okay, now students, let's suppose that we have set A and set B, and here the elements that are given to us are -1, -2, 1 and 2. And students, here we have a mapping of f is equal to x square. And students, here we have the same type of elements 0, -1, -2, 1 and 2. And if you are asked whether it is 1, 1 or not. So my dear students, what we will do next, I think we should take even more elements, because when we will take it square, it will be 4. So students, this will be -3 and this will be +3, this will be -4 and 4. Assume that this is coming. I have corrected the question a little. This is coming. This is the element we have, right? Now let's see whether it is 1, 1 or not. So what we will do here, f is equal to x square. First of all, I will put 0 here, -2. So what will be square of -2? It will be 4. And then square of -1, it will be 1, right? Now square of 0, it will be 0. Is it clear? And then students, we have the square of 1, which is 1. And what will be the square of 2? It will be 4, right? So listen, there are two elements here. See here, 2 and -2. Both are different elements. So 2 and -2 both are different elements. But their images are same. It means value of f -2 and value of f2 is equal. So these two are not equal, but these two are equal. So that means this is not a 1 function. So for a function to be 1, 1, if these two are different, then in that case, their image must also be different. So this is the concept, right? If by chance fx is equal to fy, it means if value of both functions is equal, then x and y will be equal to each other. So as you guys can see here that 4, 4 is equal, but here -2 and 2 are different. That's why this function is not 1, 1, okay? It's not 1 function. Now you might ask how to prove mathematically that this function isn't 1, 1. You can easily prove it. How do we prove it? Like I took example that fx is equal to x square, and you have to prove whether it's a 1 function or not. First of all, we will take fx equal to fy. So students, what we will write? Fx is equal to fy, right? So here x square is equal to y square will come, right? If we move y square to other side, it will be x square minus y square is equal to 0. So we will write it as x plus y into x minus y is equal to 0. So students, product of these two is equal to 0. It means that either this will be 0 or this will be 0. Am I right or not? So students, from here we get value of x minus y and another value of x to be y. When we get fx is equal to fy, then x should be equal to y. But here it is x equal to y as well as x is equal to minus y. Therefore, it's not a function. Okay? We can understand with another example that fx is equal to ax plus b, where a is not equal to 0. You have to see whether it's 1 function or not. Fx is equal to fy, ax plus b is equal to ay plus b, and b is cancelled by b, ax is equal to ay. A is cancelled with a, so x is equal to y. If these are equal, then these two will also be equal. Hence 1 function. If any function is not 1, then it is considered a many 1 function. For example, the function f is equal to x square that we saw earlier is a many 1 function. Is that clear? And now let's talk about onto functions. An onto function means that every element that is here should have an existing preimage. It means that none of the elements should be left alone. Is this clear to all of you? If no pre-image of this element exists, it is blank, then in that case there will be no onto function. Is this clear? I want to tell you guys another definition. Students, if we calculate range in this question, if I calculate range of B, then it will be X, Y, and here it is P. Is this clear or not? And students, now we have to find the codomain of this function. Again, what we have to find? Codomain. So here the codomain is X, Y, Z, P, and Q, right? So dear students, we can also say that if range and codomain of a mapping is equal, then in that case, this will be onto function, right? Yes, if range and codomain are equal. So guys, please see here. Tell me what is the range in this question. Its range is X, Y, and Z, right? So students, what is its codomain? The codomain is also X, Y, and Z. It simply means that this is an onto function, right? So we can understand from this also. See here, if each element will be connected, then range and codomain will be equal. It means that the function will be onto, right? So this is the basic definition of an onto function. So I have provided some great content on onto function and one-one function. I have explained them using a simple trick. You can check out those videos on my YouTube channel by clicking on I tab. So now let's move ahead. Student, let's discuss bijective functions. So what is a bijective function? A bijective function is a function that is both 1, 1 and onto, right? Is this clear? A function f from set A to set B is called bijective if it is both 1, 1 and onto. Students, now let us see an example. For example, fx is equal to 2x minus 3 is a bijective function. Check whether it is 1, 1 or not. Same fx is equal to fy, 2x minus 3 is equal to 2y minus 3. 3x is cancelled, so we will get x is equal to y. It's 1, 1. Now let's check if it's onto function. For onto function, we need to check if every element in the codomain has a corresponding element in the domain. So students, we will set the equation equal to y. Solving for x, we get x is equal to y plus 3 upon 2. And keep in mind, y plus 3 upon, it is the pre-image, okay? So upon 2 is coming, it means that the pre-image will be matching. Because if this is a real number, then this must also be a real number. Am I right or not? And y plus 3 by 2 is coming. It is a real number. It simply means that the function is onto. But let me point out something. Students, if the question was to be phrased like this, f n to n, if it was natural number to natural number, right? So students, in this case, here when we calculate its pre-image, we know it is not a natural number, and we also know that it's not onto function, right? So whenever we have to check that if function is onto or not, then we have to keep in mind the range and the codomain here, or we have to check the domain as well. Am I right or not? Because when we talk about it, then its pre-image will be of this type, and if it's of this type, then it's not a natural number. So this simply means the function will not be onto, right? So we can do it like this. So students, what will be y plus 3 by 2? This is a real number and it exists because it's coming. So students, here we have an onto function. Since we have a 1, 1 and onto function both, this function is bijective, clear? But whenever we check 1, 1 and onto, then it's necessary to check range and codomain. Now let's move ahead. Next, show that mapping fz plus to z plus defined by fx is equal to x square for all x belongs to z plus is 1, 1, but not onto. You will say, sir, you just asked this question and you said that this is not a 1, 1 function. I told you that it is not a 1, 1 function. I solved it and showed you that the value of x was y and value of x was minus y. But here it is going from z plus to z plus. So we need to discard this. We can't have a negative image because it is going from z plus. It means that we were taking fx is equal to fy and it will be x is equal to y if we discard this. Then students, we will get 1, 1 function. Students, I want to demonstrate this with an example, right? Let's suppose since it is from z plus to z plus, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Okay, I usually try to explain with example. So according to this here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So students, we can see that square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4 and like that it will be 8, 9 and so on. And square of 3 will be 9. So students, every element will have a unique image. So it will be 1, 1 function, but the function will not be onto. The reason for this is that this element will be blank. And the range and codomain are not equal because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pre-image of these will not exist. So it will not be onto function. So like this, we can prove this easily. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Find the domain of the function. If any question is given to you and you have to find its range and domain, so whenever we talk about domain and range, we must see the existence of the function, that whether in reality that function is existing or not. For example, if we have fx is equal to x upon x square plus 1 and you are told that the function's domain is real numbers, then what will be its domain? I want to point out that if this is on real numbers, then it should exist for all real numbers. If the function doesn't exist for all real numbers, let me take an example for you. And if I take example, fx is equal to x upon x square minus 1. So you will see that for x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1 function value does not exist, it is coming infinite. So my dear students, here domain of this function will be real number but except 1 and minus 1, right? So if you are asked that what is domain of this, then your answer should be real number but 1 and minus 1, right? Because this function is defined for all real numbers except for 1 and minus 1. Now students, here is x square plus 1 if we put 0 here, and students, here is x square plus 1 if we talk about real number. And the denominator becomes 0 when x is equal to plus minus iota, which is actually not a real number. So this means the function is defined for all real numbers. It means that the domain of this function is R, right? This is what we need to keep in mind. And this is also based on real numbers. If you are asked that what will be domain of this function, so students, I want to tell you that if we get real value for each value of x, then it will be our domain, right? Are you guys getting this point? But students, I want to point out that as soon as x is less than 4, okay? If x is less than or equal to 4, then we start getting under root or we start getting negative number. It simply means we get an imaginary number. So what will be its domain? It will be x greater than or equal to 4, right? If the value of x is greater than 4 or equal to 4, then in that case, this will always give us a real number, okay? It could be rational or irrational. It doesn't matter. But that's going to be our domain. Is this clear? Because when we talk about a function from R to R, we have to consider values where the function exists and gives a real output. We have to keep this in mind. Value of x should be greater than or equal to 0. So x is greater than or equal to 4. We can also write it as 4 to infinite, right? This is a closed interval and that's going to be its domain. And now the next question is, how do we find the range? When will its range exist? What will be its range? So whenever we talk about range, assume this is y, okay? X upon x square plus 1, I am calculating its range, that what will be its range. So cross multiply it whenever we talk about range. Here y is equal to x, but in this case we will take x is equal to y. Now we will check that for which value of y is the function existing. So we are going to do that here. What do? Multiply both sides. So x square plus 1 is equal to x. This simplifies to yx square minus x plus y is equal to 0. Now we will find value of x since quadratic equation is given for x. So we know that from Sridharacharya formula, it will be x is equal 1 plus minus under root of b square. So 1 will come here minus 4y square upon 2. Do you remember this? If we would have equation like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then in that case its answer will be minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Is this clear? So same concept here, value of a is y, value of b is minus 1 and value of c is y. So students, what properties this should have? This should exist and should be a real number. So when will this expression be real? When value of 1 minus 4y square is greater than or equal to 0, right? This means that minus 4y square is equal to or greater than minus 1. When we remove the minus sign, then this sign will change, right? So here it is, y square is less than or equal to 1 by 4. If we will take its root, then it will be mod y, which is less than equal to 1 by 2. So students, it simply means that what should be the value of y? It should be between minus 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. If this is the case, then its value will exist here. So this will be its range. So from closed interval minus 1 by 2, 1 by 2 we can calculate this. This will be its range. It's easy. I will give you another example so you can understand this better. So students, what will be its range? What should we do? We will multiply this again and find value of x, right? So students, y is equal to x upon 1 minus x. So it will be y minus yx is equal to x, right? If we take y to that side, then it will be x plus yx is equal to y. And if we remove x as common, so it will be y upon 1 plus y. So students, if we keep value of y to be minus 1, then in that case, it's not existing. It simply means that if we remove minus 1 from real number, then this will be its range. Is this clear? So keep this in mind. We can write this in this way as well as in this way. It's the same thing. It means real numbers, but except minus 1. Let's see this one. We can do this also in same way, do square of it. Here write it like this. We know that its value should be positive, which means its value should be 0 or greater than 0. So it will be 0 or more than 0. Like if I say 9 minus y square. So in this it is 0 or more than 0, right? So square of minus y will be minus 9. So y square is less than 9. Am I right or not? After calculating value, answer is 3. Mod y is less than or equal to 3. This means it will be between minus 3 and 3. So, what will be possible value of y here? Yes, tell me value of y. Its value will be mod y less than or equal to 3. It means value of y is less than or equal to 3. So, students, please correct it. So, its range will be between minus 3 to 3. Right? You need to pay attention to that. So, this is how we solve these types of problems. I am giving you this problem in the comment section and I want you to leave answer there. How long did it take you to solve this problem? Please let me know. So students, in the second part of functions of discrete mathematics, I will tell you about concepts of composite functions and their inverses. And students, in last, I have a playlist where I have uploaded all the videos on discrete mathematics. So students, this is my new channel for general aptitude tests, CSIR NET and IIT-JAM, as well as for GATE exam preparation. You can go there and see it. You can also subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so that you get notifications of upcoming videos. Thanks again to all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.